Hello everyone, and guys, Joe, hopefully you're having a wonderful Monday. We are back again with another Fanatics Weekly Review where I go through the top 100 soccer items over on their platform this week. As always, if you enjoy these, do make sure to leave a like. Helps me, helps the channel, all that good stuff. But with that said, let's go ahead and get rolling here. Starting at $450 this week, we have a John Sinclair Alec Gardner PSA 5 going for $456. Never seen that name before. Interesting enough, as it is my own. So I have to throw that one in the memory bank, but I haven't seen that. There will be another John Sinclair as well here in a few. Then we have a gold Messi Immaculate Moments here. This one out of 10 goes for $456 and a PSA 8. It is not the World Cup, as you may have assumed. I don't remember what it is, but I think it was something in 2021 that they were referencing. So that's too bad, but still a decent number, still a decent card. I still think it'd be fun at that price. PSA 8's not the best, but it's a thick card. We have a gold chrome Thiago Silva. Gold chromes, pretty collectible, seemingly, a set and a color that a lot of people have chosen to sort of surround themselves with. And this went down a little bit from the last one, but the last one was kind of arbitrarily up. Most of the sales were about $450. This one went to $660, which seems sort of out of the norm, so I don't think anything crazy is happening there. Interesting to see it go. Also interesting, the Pedri. I don't think we've seen a Pedri Mega Cracks PSA 10 in ages. I didn't even know it still went up this high, but about $500 for him is seemingly okay. Of course, Lamine Yamal's are many multiples at this point, but we're in a different era. So, Cracked Ice, Cristiano Ronaldo National Convention next to a 468, along with an Mbappe Finest Flashbacks jersey number 725, goes for 480 for that 2021 card. Then we have a camo Lionel Messi Equalizers, 492 on that pop, 1 of 4, which, decent price. A lot of, if you've been following, a lot of things you're getting decent prices, so it's just kind of the norm, especially in modern. Fermin Lopez here, rookie PSA 10 for $492, White Sparkle, Color Wheel Vinny for $492 as well. In this row, a couple Messis to start. We have out of $299 Blue Ultimate Team. This goes for $504 and a PSA 10, and then you have a Manga Stargazing from 2017 and a PSA 10 for $516. Between those two, I kind of like the Ultimate Team, but truthfully, I also like the Magna. It's a really weird parallel, and Revolution's kind of interesting on its own. But the Magna in hand is almost like a dragon scale type of effect, and it's an interesting one, so I do like that one. But I personally actually kind of like them both a bit. Then you have a Kylian Mbappe Unlimited Potential. This PSA 10 goes for $516 from 2017 Select. Above it, PSA 10 2021 Mega Cracks Messi. So super modern Messi, but it's PSA 10, it's Mega Cracks, gets $528. Speaking of Dragon Scale, Erling Haaland, that goes for $528 as well. And then a Mo Salah Green Tops out of 60 rookie goes for $576. In terms of pricing, they have kind of been all over the place, down a little from the last couple sales, but up from the sale before that. So seemingly came back down to earth a little, but still up a good bit from where they were in 2023, 2024. Had a really good season last year, so I'm sure that helped. Equalizers Blue Ronaldo. This one really surprisingly goes higher, but it is a pop 1 of 2. The Messi didn't have a pop listed on it. I guess that's Ultimate Team. That's not Equalizers. There's the camo Equalizers here. I don't know. I'm trying to draw some sort of frame of reference, but I think the pop 1 and 2 is doing a lot of lifting here for $600 on that. The Sindelar Bulgaria Sport 32 PSA goes for $600. That was a pretty big sale in comparison to where it had been in the past. I think the last couple sales were about $150, $250, somewhere in there. So $600 on that was pretty big time. It hasn't sold in a minute in this high of a grade. And in general, it feels like to me that pre-modern and vintage is sort of dried up. Like in these auctions a year or two ago, it used to be seemingly primarily vintage and pre-modern and stuff like that. And now it's just so many colors, so little vintage. So I think when vintage does come up, it might get more eyeballs and more attraction than it may have in the past. Beyond that, signed in person Lionel Messi 2017 Chrome base card for $630. This Neymar Immaculate, I like the look of it, but it isn't game used, so, it is what it is. Still a nice looking Immaculate card, numbered out of 8. Got a nice logo patch as well. Orange Kylian Mbappe Finest, PSA 10 for $630. Feels kind of pricey for a Finest Orange, especially, I don't like the look of this year's Finest at all. I think that's sort of a take a lot of people have. It's very strange, and an out of 25 for $630 is just kind of crazy. I know it's a 10, but still. Next to it, EDI Gianni Rivera PSA 5. It seemed like a pretty good price. I know it's a PSA 5, which is pretty strong grade, and people do like the EDI set. But like Garincha PSA 3s and 4s, I feel like go for $300 to $400. So a 5 for a Gianni Rivera Going for 660 feels pretty good. Higher up, 2017 Cyber Monday Messi. Oh, it says auto. Okay, I was like, what is this? I thought it was just a base card. This has an auto? Is it like a sticker in the jersey? What are we looking at here? Oh my lord. Yeah, just hanging out there over his crotch. That's something. Wow. Wow. 2017 was a different time. I guess that's what we can take away from that. I don't know what's going on there. Although I guess we have this palatial thing as well from Panini. Actually, it's from Top. Sorry. But this also feels weird. Just kind of a fever dream row here. But the palatial Zidane, I think these are stickers as well. And I guess like Top said they'll just put them in a slab for you. Don't worry about it. We got the plastic. Save your $20. And yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't look good. Like even the slab doesn't look like this thing doesn't look good. You know, I don't want that. Just throw it in a one-touch, throw a sticker over it or something. You know, at least that's how I would feel. I could be wrong, but I think it was a European style release, and they don't have a lot of slabs over there, so maybe they liked it. But Gianfranco Zola, 2022-2023 Topps Dynasty out of 5 goes for 660. Above it, another John Sinclair here. This one is Colin Veach, PSA 4 for 690. Couple more Ronaldos, 2023 Euro, well, row 2, the Euro Topps Pristine Red out of 5, PSA 10 for 690. To me, that doesn't feel bad. I mean, I know Pristine isn't really a brand, and it's road to Euro. I mean, road to Qatar was already enough, but road to Euro. So there are a lot of things that you could probably, you know, sort of hamper your opinion on it. But at the end of the, I mean, out of 5, PSA 10, 690 is a decent price, but with the 10 and the out of 5, I just don't think it's crazy. Alternatively, you know, great sort of 1-2 here. You got the Flash 2016 Prism PSA 10. This goes for 720, and we did see one of these 2 weeks ago, and surprisingly, I guess someone had a couple of them because they sold another one. This one is not the same cert, so it is a different card, and basically got the same exact price, which is pretty impressive, I'd say, for something to sell for the first time in 5 years and to do it twice and get the same price both times. That's not bad. Above it, Full Bull. Speaking of it, this Pele sort of did the same thing. One of these sold recently, another one sold again, and it went for the same price too. So, you know, that's not stopping anything. Still getting big money. Messi, 2009 PSA 10 for 720 there out of Panini FC Barca, and a PSA 8 Upper Deck Ronaldo for 720 there, number 15. Oh, man. Okay. Topps Match Attacks Extra, the greatest of all time, Lionel Messi, PSA 10. I mean, maybe this is like short print. I don't know. Oh man, all these types of cards are just, they're gonna do so many of them. I think there was like a MLS card where there was like goats in the background and stuff like that. It's just, you know, they're gonna play that up forever. Spending $750 on a Match Attacks card at any point just kind of feels like an overpay, but we'll see where that goes. Out of $299, Red Prism National Pride, a Select Messi for $780. This Platini Forza Goal in a PSA 6 goes for $780 as well. There was only one other sale of this. It was a 4 for $300 to $400, so this is about right. Keep it moving. Not a whole lot to add here on the Marks of Excellence Paolo Maldini. I mean, decent price. I guess I can add that. $780 for an out of 50. And then you also have the Cristiano Ronaldo patch out of 5 from 2022 NT for $840 as well. This 1926 Greeling Ernst Cazorla. This is one where I saw in the Vintage Discord, I believe they were talking about this one in particular, but essentially Greeling's a very complicated set in pre-war German, where essentially you have different types of Greeling releases for different years, and it sort of changes over time, and PSA doesn't have a good grasp of it at the moment. So I think it can be almost anywhere from 1926 to 1931-ish. And ultimately, all to say that when I was reading through the Vintage Discord, as always linked down below, they mentioned that this wasn't a rookie forum despite it being listed as one. So I guess that's something that is worth looking out for. And I would say, especially on like pre-war stuff, I wouldn't trust Fanatics with rookie labelings. And I probably wouldn't trust them in general. I would just do my research there if you can. But it's a lot harder on some of these older guys. So, you know, I can get that you might want to lean on them, but maybe best not to. Above it, okay, so 2017 Select in the Clutch camo. People know how I feel about camo, but it's PSA 10. You know, it's out of 20. Goes for $870, which is pop 1 of 5, not too shabby. You also have a, you know, just IP auto Leo Messi there for $900. Feels pretty strong. And then an Out of This World 2018 Donruss Blue going for $900. I don't think I've ever seen that card. it's not something. Initially, I saw it and it seemed kind of weird, but I actually don't mind it. That's kind of cool. But I don't know. And I'm $900, pretty decent as well. But I don't know. I take it over the IP Auto. But I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, above it, some more modern here. A couple of medium malls in Erling Holland. Erling Holland, a Topps National out of 5 red, a sticker auto for $900. And then a couple of medium malls. You can either have a base PSA 85 bis or a rookie auto. I think I'd take the auto, personally. I know it's sticker, but why not? Why not? Keeping it moving. PSA 5 here on the Franz Beckenbauer goes for $960, which seemed like a decent price, especially I did the thing where I look at the back and tell you what it looks like. It didn't look great. There was a couple spots where it seemed pretty clear that there was some text missing, and so a PSA 5 to me seems a bit high, but to each their own. PSA 10 Blue Select Messi out of $299 from 2015 goes for $990. And then a Vivian Woodward from 1912 Murray Sons & Co. in a 4 goes for $1,020. Then a row of Messi here. Really don't have much to say on the, top two. But I will say I thought the white was pretty strong. Granted, ultimately all Messi strong at the moment, but $1,000 for an out of 99 PSA 9 from 2017 Select seemed pretty good. I did look it up, and it's definitely good. It used to be closer to $300 to $400 back in 2021, 2022, and even into 2025. But about triple that price now, which truthfully is about what all Messi is. So it's not crazy, but just seeing it felt kind of crazy, I guess, when I was initially going through this. Starting off page 1 at $1,200, we have a Messi PSA 10 from 2012 Mega Cracks. It goes for $1,200, along with that couple modern pieces. Well, 2019 still modern, but João Felix 1 of 1 top Superfractor goes for $1,230. Endrick Vinny dual color blast, kind of a crazy one considering the current situation, but $1,260 there, hey, pop 1 of 8. It's rare, I guess. I'd have to imagine color blasts aren't all too common, but Club World Cup, Then above that, in the next row, we have a Kylian Mbappe Silver Select Field Level rookie, PSA 10 for $1,260. We have an out of 125 light blue PSA 10 2018 Prism Ronaldo for $1,320 as well. And then finally, a Leonidas PSA 1 from 1944 Americana for $1,320. Decent price on that, at least compared to where it was a couple of years ago in a similar grade, although this copy does look pretty good for a 1, at least from here. I didn't turn it over, but, we don't need to. We'll be all right. Thought this was a pretty good price, although I did look at comps, and the only thing I could find, I don't know if I still have it. I do. The only other comp was back here for a PSA 9 for $550, so compared to that, it's actually not even that crazy of a price, really. But at least to me, initially, $1,350 felt pretty strong. Red Refractor Erling Holland out of 5 goes for $1,350 there of 2023 Finest Prize Footballers. PSA 1010, which it says Auto DNA 9. PSA 5. Oh, okay. No, the auto is a 9. Okay, never mind. Then we have a Leaf 1 of 1 Cristiano Ronaldo for $1,380 as well. This row, you got the Zidane Topps Dynasty here going for $1,380, numbered out of 5. A Kylian Mbappe Black Refractor out of 10 PSA 10 for $1,380. Interesting to see that go. I really like Topps Reds in Modern, but I do think Black is sort of like the second fiddle there. PSA 10 also clearly a good grade. This Mundo Chrome, it's almost Mundi Chromo, but it's not. 2006 card for Lionel Messi. Very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I did look up comps, and you can see sales on it. There's 37, but yeah, not something I've ever really paid all too much attention to. Interestingly, doesn't even really have any sales until the end of 2021, really. And so yeah, very interesting. No clue where this is from. Didn't really have this on my radar at all. So if you guys know anything about that, do let me know. 1410 there. Pretty decent number. But also, I guess not super crazy for something that's seemingly as rare as that. I just have never seen it. So it's thrown me a bit for a loop. But any further info would be appreciated. Above it, 1984 Diego Maradona PSA 9 Panini Football goes for $1,410. I did look this up. I think there was one sale before for $1,200. It wasn't anything really all that crazy. Yeah, it didn't do a whole lot. Beyond that, 1 of 1 Unstoppable Black Select Erling Holland for $1,400, along with a Magnificent Moments Eternal 2018 Pele going for 1440 there, numbered out of 25. There will be a Maradona as well here in a bit. So interesting to see that go. And also, I mean, doesn't feel crazy. For some reason, these never seem to get good prices. Like I've seen them on eBay auctions. And this is probably a much better price than it used to be. But still, doesn't really seem all that crazy to me, especially the Maradona is fairly similar. And it's shouting out good World Cup moments I had. I think it's fun. Then in this row, not a whole lot to add here. Kind of an odd row in a sense. You got a black NBA sticker on a 2019 Erling Haaland, top 5%. So not sure how much that's helping, but kind of crazy to see. Color Blast Cristiano Ronaldo PSA 10. Interesting to note because we'll see a Messi PSA 8 Barca Color Blast here in a second. So kind of a fun would you rather. And then a Lionel Messi Blue Power Plaid with the red and white as well, going in a PSA 10 for $1,500. There's the Messi. So the Messi Color Blast goes for $30 more, which, me personally, I guess I don't know how short print they are per year. You'd assume over time they go up in pop, but honestly, the 2020 seemed like there was a decent amount of them, but that could just be because it's more time to be sold. So I get that. But I take the Messi. I mean, that seems pretty easy. Messi Barca days 2020 compared to Ronaldo Al Nassr. I don't know. To each their own. Also, a PSA 10 Messi Mega Cracks goes for $1,500. The PSA 10 Messi Mega Cracks is just a crazy market to observe because like 9s and BGS 9.5s don't get like any premium really. I mean, they get some, and especially if they're earlier or they're nice looking ones, they'll get some premium, but like nowhere near what these 10s get. It's sort of like Jordan not rookie, but like, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th year stuff where it's basically all 10 or nothing. 2018 Purple Prism Ronaldo out of 99. PSA 10 goes for $1,500. In this row, first two, nothing all too crazy for me. Out of 5, Cole Palmer. Got a plane in the background. You might be able to hear Lionel Messi Barca, Super Barca 2005 sticker, and a 10 goes for $1,620. Pop one of 8. And then finally, really fun card here. This is a 2017 award winners, Luka Modric. A fun insert set out of the first year Chrome. I mean, it's a bit, I could see people saying this isn't that great looking of a card. To be fair, it is Luka Modric, and, I don't know. I don't know if he's like a peak male model type of athlete, but nonetheless, a cool parallel. Out of 10, red from 2017 Chrome. Really like these personally. Number 3 out of 10. And prices have definitely sort of upticked on these. $1,600 there for a PSA 9. If we just go back to like the last one sold, and notably there aren't many. There was one sale in 2025, it seems. Maybe another one here. But a Ramos for $750 and a 10, which is pretty big time player, big time grade. A PK Raw went for $100. Buffon in an 8 was going for about $200. Modric in a 9 before went for $350. That's crazy. So yeah, it did pretty good. I'm interested. Is this the same one? It probably is, right? It is the same one. So that's crazy to think about. And if a Modric 9 is going for $1,500, that means a 10 would probably do what this Messi was doing 3 years ago, which is just insane. But sort of where we're at with some of these modern sets, and that one gets a very good price there at $1,620. Beyond that, Maradona, as we saw the Pele just a little bit ago, Maradona does a little higher. Nothing all too crazy there. PSA 9 1995 Super Calcio stickers, R9, and a rookie PSA 9, all the 9s, $1,680 there. $1,680 also a pretty decent price. Recently on eBay did $710, so I mean more than doubled that, which certainly isn't bad. Last Fanatic sale was $1,050, so pretty good. Also decently centered as well. I think someone noted that as well in the vintage Discord. So a pretty solid number there. Another 2005 Super Barcelona Messi PSA 10. I'd be interested how many Messis do appear in this set. Pop one of 10, not many, but if there are a lot of Messis, of course, it could add up, and we saw one earlier. 2025 Panini Prism FIFA Club World Cup Global Graphs Auto 2070. Feels expensive, Not quite sure exactly what you could get a 2014 Prism for. Maybe, you'd probably have to get it raw or like PSA 8, but you might be able to get it for a similar price range. Personally, that would be my preferred card of choice. 2016 Camo Select Messi out of 20 PSA 10, 2,220 on that. Pop one of 5. Did look this one up because I was sort of interested, and we don't look up a lot of these, so why not? And in terms of pricing, it has been higher. There was a sale recently for $23.70. I don't think it was the same number, but I'll check. It actually was. So probably got relisted. Went for $150 less. Still higher than the last 2 sales. So, good. You don't like to see a relist, assuming that's the case there. Surprisingly, this was a card, and I thought this was weird when I looked it up. It did not sell at all between 2020 the end of 2022 and the start of like 2025, 2026, 2025, it didn't sell for like 2 or 3 years where the hobby was just going through it. And so you don't really see much of a comeback on this card. Instead, it was 1900 and has basically stayed there. But there probably would have been a pretty sharp drop off if it had sold in that time. Next to it, a light blue laser out of 125 PSA 10. And I think that's a fun one, like a would you rather in this row. I mean, you can add all 3 cards if you want. If you want the auto, I'd probably pick between these 3. And like, I could see off rarity choosing the camo select, but man, that light blue laser PSA 10 looks pretty good, you know? So that one's a hard one for me, but I might go light blue. No matter the case, still a fun row, and some more above it. Another example, this one also an interesting row, and I think really sort of showcases like, man, how much money is being spent on these sorts of soccer cards. Like, it's big money, you know? This is an upper deck Ronaldo. Of course, it's early, but it's 2004. It's a base card. It's really, it's kind of plentiful. PSA 10 a little bit harder. I think PSA 10s are like a pop 80 to 90, and so 2400 there, definitely a big number. Next to it, green Club World Cup Erling Haaland, PSA 9 out of 5, goes for 2400. Again, feels like a big number, PSA 9. Green prisms aren't people's favorite. The Club World Cup seems to be sort of an iffy, prism release, in my opinion. And yeah, 2400, there's a big number. And then you got the out of 199 PSA 10 blue Messi that goes for 2640 from 2022. And again, I mean, it's PSA 10, but still 2600 for an out of 199 card, still pretty big time. And I guess that'd be an interesting one too. Like, most people I would think would rather have the out of 199 blue wave for 2600 than the out of 125 light blue laser, probably. I don't know. Personally, I actually like the look of the 2018 card a lot more than the 2022. Maybe I'll change that in time, but I could see the case for either of these. I just think, again, it's big prices, and I think we'll see another example above it where I just think there's a lot of big money in modern at the moment. A little bit in vintage here as well. This PSA 7 Franz Beckenbauer goes for 3,300. I looked up comps and it wasn't great because these used to be really high priced and they came down a good bit, where a lot of higher grades started coming out, both because more high grades were submitted, but also because PSA started giving out some higher grades, at least so it seems. And this PSA 7, that last one for 6,600, you can see here. This was in 2024 where these were still falling. They had sold for higher at times, 18,000 at one point. This 7 in particular, I think it probably would have performed better, but as you can see, it has sort of like the cut lines on the card. Like, it's very OC, at least in that regard. And so I think it probably got a light price compared to what a 7 could have. In terms of last sales, I think a 6 is between 1.5 and 2K, and then an 8's somewhere closer to 10. So ultimately, this was much closer to a 6 than an 8. And I think the lines probably are a big reason why. Although the back did look good. It looked good. I will say that. I'll give it that. Next to it, take your pick of the Messi Ronaldo autos. You can have a PSA 10 2018 World Cup Ronaldo sticker auto, or a 2024 Topps Chrome Black Refractor Messi out of 10. Feels like the Messi's kind of the easy pick just because it's on card and it's Messi. I know it's Inter Miami, which, not my favorite, but yeah, I'd probably take it. Probably. I just think sticker autos, Prism World Cup, I like them. I think they're cool, but like ultimately people haven't even really got behind 2014 in a massive way. There's some collectability there, but it's not like wildly more collectible than sort of their normal cards to some degree. So I don't know. This is where I thought modern just goes crazy. And this is where, I mean, to some degree, I don't understand modern in general. I'd like to think I also still participate and understand it to some degree, but some of it just doesn't make any sense, and I think these two are ones that, to me, are just crazy. This is a numbered out of 8 2021 Immaculate Collection patch for Messi, right? PSA 9 goes for 4,200. And the patch, of course, we're going to go look. It's not attached to anything. It's not, officially enclosed material is not associated with any specific player, game, or event. So it's not even saying player. Like, on some of these, you can kind of delude yourself into thinking like, oh, maybe he wore it sometime or whatever. This doesn't even say player. This could have been some, Verratti, or I guess it's Argentina, not PSG, sorry. But, I guess maybe you would hope it would be Di Maria in that scenario, but this is probably related to no one, off a rack somewhere of some shirt no one wanted. And so, like, this goes for 4,200. I mean, it's a PSA 9, so it's not even like it's getting a big grading premium. And so, like, what is this getting a premium for? It just blows my mind. It didn't make it into this auction block, but I did buy an immaculate numbered out of 8 Ruby from the same year. It wasn't a patch card, but it was a Ronaldo in a PSA 8. I bought it for like $300. I thought it was sick. Color match, Manchester United days. like a lot going for it, at least to me, for $300. And then on the other end of it, you got a $4,200 patch card that's not associated with anything. The patch doesn't even match the player on the card. It's just like, what is this? What is this? And then just even more disgustingly, you got this like Frankenstein card where someone took off a Ronaldo auto from a different card and a Messi auto from a different card, and they threw it on this matchups. And they got $4,300 for it. I mean, that's it's just so crazy. And I'm imagining they're now buying more Leaf autos. Finally, Leaf autos have a purpose. Go and get your Leaf autos, rip them off, boom, throw them on a base card. Because I mean, what, like a Leaf, Messi, and Ronaldo, you could probably get like a Leaf auto of each of them for like, well, maybe you could get it on like a booklet for even cheaper. But $500-$600 probably, $700. And then you get this base card. It might cost a little bit, maybe a few hundred. I don't know what a raw one does. But all in all, probably $1,000, right? And then you could sell it for $4,000 in theory. I doubt many people will be paying $4,000 for this, but at least for a moment in time, some people were. I've never liked a white box more in my life than looking at this row. So if I had to pick a card, I'm taking the Mbappe. But my lord, I mean, that's just, ugh. Like, that's the idea, and it's a cool Mbappe, I'll give it that, but it is a white box. Like, if you bought this row, you would have spent 12 to 13 grand, and you would have ended up with a white box, which is sort of a fake one of one. You would have ended up with just a butchered auto, and then a patch not related to the card, which is like, it's just, oh my gosh, there's so much money in Modern. It's crazy sometimes. And speaking of, I mean, above it, I don't know what this is either. Kylian Mbappe, red beam team. I know what it is, right? Beam teams that you had like Shaq and MJ. And so people like them. They brought them back. And there's definitely basketball collectors that collect a little bit of soccer that are kind of into it a little. But 5.2 grand. I looked this up and I probably closed it. No, I didn't. Cool. I mean, last Raw a year ago, $500, and this is a PSA 9, which is basically Raw. So, like, I mean, come on. I don't like calling card shield because you never know. Maybe someone wanted to pay 5 times comps or 10 times comps for it. But, I find that hard to believe. But hard to know. We'll see if it goes back up or if it gets paid. I guess I don't know what I hope for in that scenario. On one hand, you want it to get paid so people aren't, having fake sales. But at the same time, do I want someone paying $5,300? I mean, if they want it, I want it for them if they want it for them. But yeah, that's so expensive and seemingly so ridiculous. I mean, on the other hand, you could get a PSA 4 Aquarella. I know Aquarellas are a bit more accessible, but like, that's like basically the most notable Pele, like the most iconic, I would say. If you just ask random people what the first Pele that comes to their mind is, I think it's this. And to have a pretty good grade. I mean, I don't know where a 4 sits on the scale. I would have to imagine it's middle high, probably like, like top 30-40 percentile, I would guess. I could be totally wrong. Maybe, anywhere between 30 and 50, I would think. And you get that for basically the same price. It's just crazy. Also, Lamine Yamal auto jersey number. You can see some jersey number there, although I don't believe it was jersey number at the time. So, like, what are they doing there? Jersey numbers are always a little tricky, and I've talked about that in weeks past. I'm someone that likes them, so I think about this weird stuff. But that is why, like, I wouldn't pay premiums on, like, early rookie jersey numbers for the most part. Like Lamine Yamal, I think he was like 19 or 20 something, and like, they just move around in those weird numbers a lot, and it usually doesn't stick. Anyways, $5,500 for that. Feels pretty good. Above it, row of Kylian Mbappe's. Pretty interesting. Take your pick. 2018 Kaboom PSA 9 for $6,300. We'll take a short look at that graph real quick. And as you can tell, doing pretty good. A year ago, 2,000, now 6,300. Not bad. Peaked at 7, so down a little bit from a peak sale, but that's okay. 2024 black box of the 2022 NT 1 of 1 goes for $6,600. And finally, a camo out of 2017 Select PSA 9 goes for $6,900. Man, I find this to be kind of a hard row personally, just because, well, one, these are all expensive cards, and like the idea of spending $7,000 on Mbappe is never really something I've considered all that much. But fundamentally, I'm not a Kaboom guy, so I hate to say it, but I wouldn't go Kaboom. It's just, it's not my nature. The 1 of 1 white box, again, I just, white boxes to me are always just something I don't want to pick, but this one looks really good. I really like this one. And so, I might go white box, but at the same time, the camo rookie doesn't seem bad. White box 1, camo rookie, close second, Kaboom, third, whatever. In the top 3 this week, Again, I mean, some fun cards. We got another Kaboom here, so that tops a weekly. Instead of a PSA 9, it's a 10, so that gets a nice little double up. But the Cristiano Ronaldo 2018 National Landmarks Prism World Cup PSA 10 goes for 7,500. Fun card here, you know. I think in a world of Kabooms and everyone getting excited for that, I do think National Landmarks are a fun one. I mean, they stand out from 2018. They're pretty clearly cool, and they're not super available. Like, I feel like I barely see them. I'm sure they're out there, and, you know, they're probably out there about as much as Kabooms. But, you know, you only have 2018 landmarks for this World Cup. So, yeah, I mean, I like it. You know, it's a little different. It's basically the downtown for soccer. And, you know, downtowns really don't have much play in soccer since they don't exist, really. But at the same time, I really like these. And 7,500 there is certainly up. If we look back at past pricing, this was a good bit cheaper at a certain point in time, even relatively recent. As you can tell, I mean, there are a decent amount of sales. PSA 10, there's 35 results here, so, you know, it's not like they don't sell, especially as of late. It seems like they sell quite a bit, but prices have gone up. They were closer to 1.5 to 2K there in 2023, where a few were selling a year, and now they're closer to, you know, 6, 7K, something like that for the kids at home. And Mojo one there, numbered out of, I believe, 25 those are. I could be wrong. That one goes for 25K, though, and yeah, 25 there, so big number on that one. Next to it, we have the 2023 Immaculate Standard Ruby Messi 1/1 patch. PSA 8 goes for 8,400. Again, to me, this one just seemed like a, you know, these patch cards of nothing, or to me, are just not, they're not cool. The enclosed player worn / used. Now that at least could be a little cooler, like they're saying it's player worn / used. I always do wonder with this type of wording, though, like on the other card, right? You saw that they said that this patch is not from any specific player, event, or whatever. Like, they're specifically saying player. I wonder if the player's even the player on the card. Like, I would hope it is, but I think these companies are just so tricky with this wording that I honestly think, like, you know, it might not even be the same player. You know, it might just be someone else in the Argentine team they have extra jerseys of, and it's player worn, it's used, whatever. You know, they're not going to know any different. And, like, you know, on some of the high-end stuff, I don't have as much skepticism with it. But on stuff like this, I wonder, and I wish they'd tell us, because, you know, I think these patches mean a lot. Some people don't. I see some people say, you know, the card just has to look good, and that's all that matters. But to me, patches and patch cards were released with the idea of having patches from games being cards, and that's why it's cool. If they started making patch cards with just useless patches of nothing in it, no one would have ever liked them. It's sort of like a Trojan horse thing where they started with cool patches and now they're like, oh, you like patches? Well, here's patches that are worthless. And it's like, well, so what are we doing? Just stop making them. I don't care personally. I understand clearly the market still does. 8,400 for a 1/1 there. But I just, you know, I find it tough. Anyways, and then finally, PSA 10, Kaboom, Kylian Mbappe, 13.8 grand there. We already saw the PSA 9 chart, so not a whole lot to add here. It was 6K last year. It's now 13, so not bad, right? I think it hit a low of like 5K there. And still doing pretty good, but I mean, well, I guess for soccer, I mean, this is like one of the more steady charts. It's crazy to think that in the time of all that volatility, the massive up, the massive down, that one of the most steady cards out there was the Kaboom, in the sense that it went up, sure, but then it sort of slowly and steadily went down, and then it just like, that's a decent graph. I mean, compared to some things that you see, they're just all over the place. Like, this is a decent graph, which is crazy because it's Kaboom and, you know, it's not my thing. And I think it's not a lot of people's thing, but it is a lot of people's thing. And that's the important part. And they continue to do really well. 13.8K there is not bad at all. It has the most watchers in the auction block, I believe. I didn't check that on all the cards, but 132 feels pretty high. So that does it. We are good to go, and look at next week now. 217 is on its way, and a gold Kylian Mbappe Kaboom. So if you like regular Kabooms, by golly, you're going to like golds. And Topps Dynasty as well, gold Lamine Yamal rookies. Marks of Excellence, Lamine Yamal, another Kaboom Messi, Topps Dynasty Messi, numbered out of 5, Cristiano Ronaldo auto, gold vinyl 1/1, gold power, Christian Pulisic, Diego Maradona in a 7, purple net finders, red Ronaldo in a 9, more Kaboom, more Topps Dynasty. Gosh, man, there's so much of it. Sapphire, wow. So Sapphire out of 5, 2021, Sapphire out of 5, PSA 10, 2019. This is starting to feel to me like a preview of what we're getting come World Cup, or maybe like a little bit of an idea. And man, this is a lot. Feels like a lot. Yeah, just gold, red, numbers. It's everywhere. By golly. All right, well, that'll be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. If you like vintage, maybe not so much, but I'd have to imagine there's some out there. Who knows, though? With that said, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, again, make sure to leave a like. I'd appreciate it greatly. Any thoughts, anything you thought sold high, low, maybe something you snagged, would love to hear about it down below in a comment. And if you want to see more videos like this as soon as I go live, make sure to subscribe. But with that said, hopefully you have a wonderful day, and peace.